chow. So, in the Navy, we call it chow. Down at the galley, in the Army, they call it, I think they call it probably chow. Also, they call it rations. And those look different from branch to branch. So the Navy has great food. I think the Navy is widely known as having the best food. If you don't know anything about it, you might think that the Air Force would have great food. In my personal experience, the Air Force does not have great food. They have average food. Their galleys or DFACs or mess halls, whatever you want to call it, Navy, we call it galleys, is okay. It's okay. It is certainly nothing special. And I've had way better food in the Navy, especially even on a ship. Not to say that the food on the ship is, great all the time. There's some bad food on the ship, and we're going to talk about that. But I saw this article today. I haven't even read through it yet, but let's pop this up on the screen right now with a 7 minutes on the clock, and let's get to it. So there was a story in the military.com. A Navy veteran exposes the gross food served on warships in viral Facebook post. And this photo, it says pita bread. And I don't know what it is about pita bread, but I've seen mold grow on pita bread multiple times. Something about that bread, it just loves bacteria. So we've got moldy pita bread, and that is so gross. Imagine going down to the galley to get and something tells me this was mid-rats, so the midnight meal. So they call it mid-rats. It's the food they put out for people who work the overnight shift. It's usually leftovers from the day's work. So like a little bit of breakfast, a little bit of lunch, a little bit of dinner, and it is a lot of garbage food. And then like the oldest stuff. So somebody said Qatar had fantastic Air Force food, and Manas did too. And Bagram Air Force Base had good food too. And I'm not sure if that was Air Force or not, but their DFAC was. But the thing though about that is that they were ran by civilians. What was that big company that got in all that trouble for like war profiteering? KBR, right? So KBR ran a lot of the downrange DFACs, and their food was not bad. Maybe Qatar was KBR, but I'm talking about like Nellis. I'm talking about bases in the U.S. that I've been to. The food was underwhelming. And I've been to Navy bases where the food was great. The Navy has some great galleys. Pensacola, forget about it. If you've been to the Pensacola Navy galley, forget about it. So good. Okay, so I don't want to waste any more time. Let's go down here to the rotten, unhealthy, and quite frankly, disgraceful food that sailors and Marines are forced to eat while embarked on the service's warships. So what ship was this? So documented the awful food over a period of 3 years. Okay, let's start there. 3 years. 4 or 5 meals a day. So that means close to 10,000 meals. Okay, so close to 10,000 meals. And so this was on the USS Nimitz. I was thinking this might have been on a smaller ship, but this is on an aircraft carrier, which means that they have the largest number of people and they produce the most food. And I could see a smaller ship maybe getting away with this more often, but the big ships are more... there's a lot more eyes on the food, and they have, an admiral on board. They have high-ranking people, so you don't want to be serving people moldy food. So lettuce with insects, hair on food, and raw chicken. This looks so gross. If this is roast beef, this might be, I mean, it looks raw, but, roast beef can look raw and be good. This looks like fish. That's so gross. These are corn dogs, which are common Navy ship food. What else do we got here? We got the pita bread and then some eggs. I'm not going to click that link because I don't know where that's going to open up. So, I don't know if this was coming out on every meal or what. I could read the whole article here, but I just it reminded me of some of the food standards when I was on the USS Ronald Reagan, which was not horrible. I guess it was not horrible, but the thing was, it depended when you ate. So the best food, it was a first come, first serve situation, right? So if you didn't have a chance to make it down and get in the line early, you might miss like the good dishes and you get kind of like the backup dishes, which were a lot of times the leftovers, a lot of times bad like worse food. And then the breakfast meal, it was the infamous omelet line. Okay, so if you wanted omelets, stand by. You better have an hour or more where you don't have to be at your shop to go get an omelet. Okay, so who's getting this food? The people with the most laxed jobs. Okay, people who are already skating can go down and get in line either 45 minutes, an hour before the galley even opens, or they just have no, who cares? Get in line whenever, because you got all day to go get some food. So the people with the most lax jobs got the best food, and the rest of the people, and sometimes that was me. I'm not going to lie. So I had a chill job for a period of time when I was on the ship, and I would get the omelets. I would get the best food, and then but other times I would get the bagged lunches. So on the ship they have this thing called bagged lunches, and you would think, like, your brain might go, well, somebody commented, fat asses in the Navy. I'm not even going to lie. It's true. Like, we do have a huge problem with weight in the military, in the Navy. Not even going to argue that. It's true. So bagged lunches. Now, this is where they really drop the ball. So if you were getting a bagged lunch, that means you were probably working on a flight deck or in a job that was, you couldn't get away and go down to the mess deck. So they would bring you food in the form of a bagged lunch. And a bagged lunch was, you would think it would be just the food that they made that day put into a to-go container, but it was like 2 pieces of bread, a slice of ham, and no condiments, and an apple. But the apple was like applesauce already, because it was like collapsing on itself, like when fruit goes bad. So spoiled. So a spoiled apple and 2 pieces of bread and a slice of ham, and that is your lunch or dinner. And what's worse is maybe you get that for lunch or dinner, and then there might be like a juice box in it or something like that. There was nothing good about it. So then you get that, and then after that, you if you're up late, you get mid-rats. And I remember going down to mid-rats once, and the main dish was just chicken bones in pea soup. Just chicken bones in pea soup was the mid-rats dinner. It was terrible. And so the thing was, if you wanted some good food, you had better hope that you have a good job. And this type of thing, honestly, I've seen it. We've all seen it if we've been on the ships. It's real. But what are you going to do, man? I guess you only get food replenished every so often, and they're going to try to make that last. But then again, you don't want to make people sick and give them food poison and have an outbreak of foodborne illness, which was common too. All right, so time's running out on this one, coming down to the wire. That was one where maybe we could have had more time and talk about food, but we're actually going to move on to another food story.